Did you know? Super Mario Bros. 2 is actually a reskin of a Japanese-only title known as Doki Doki Literature Club. This is also why every single enemy in this game is a new one and didn't previously appear in Super Mario Bros. In-game, these inconsistencies are explained by saying the adventure of Mario, Luigi, Peach and Toad takes place in Mario's dreams, which also means Mario dreams of being Luigi. Despite that, however, following the game's release, it would shake up the Mario franchise a little, as some figures seen only in the land of Subcon here would later become mainstays of the series. Others though, not so much. Today, I want to have a little high school reunion with the enemies of this game and find out how they have been faring since the release of what Japan has come to know as Super Mario Bros. USA. Let's start with the tweeter, who should probably be renamed to Xer. While this is a bird wearing a plague mask, it looks more like a bat. They're one of the most common enemies in the original game, and hop more than they fly. Since they're quite early enemies in Super Mario Bros. 2, they were somewhat recognizable and featured in several forms of other media of the time. They're seen in several episodes of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show under the leadership of Bowser instead of Ward, and even had a cameo in the first Super Mario Bros. Movie, although they were portrayed as lizards instead of birds here. While they would never make another appearance in a video game following Mario Bros. 2, they were planned to appear in the first Yoshi's Island game, and their sprite can still be found in the game files. And that is interesting, of course, because their fellow common enemy Shy Guy did make the transfer from Super Mario Bros. 2 to the Yoshi's Island series, and have since become essentially that series' Goombas. I've already made a video going into depth on the career path of Shy Guy and why it is what it is, so if you're interested in that, I'd suggest you check out that video after this one to get more than just a simple summary. That said, Mario Bros. 2 already introduced two Shy Guy variants, the first being the Bezo. These are essentially flying Shy Guys armed with a trident, and distinctly not the same thing as a Fly Guy. Unlike the tweeter though, these would make one reappearance in the Mario series, as they are found as enemies in Super Mario RPG. Originally, in Legend of the Seven Stars, they're called Shy-Aways, but the remake on Switch renames them to the correct Bezo. Sniffets are also a variant of Shy Guy, I think, capable of shooting cannonballs. While their reappearances pale in comparison to Shy Guy, they're still easily one of the most successful graduates from the class of 1988. They too would make reappearances in the Yoshi's Island games and Super Mario RPG, but also have a few cameos here and there in the Mario Party, Mario and Luigi, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. They're more prominently featured in Paper Mario, especially the latter games, when that series would focus more on established Mario races instead of creating their own. One even appears in the new Mario movie. So yeah, they may forever be in Shy Guy's shadow, but that doesn't mean they don't get a bit of the spotlight every now and then. It's a life the hoopster can only dream of. Although this ladybug-like enemy has at least appeared following Super Mario Bros. 2, even if it is in one of the most obscure moments of the core Super Mario series. So in the remake of Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Super Mario Advance line of games, hoopsters appear in the e-reader exclusive level Rich with Ropes. They climb up and down vines, which is the same thing they do in Mario Bros. 2. This is a very similar fate to the Porcupo, which is ironically enough a hedgehog-like enemy with spikes on its back. Just like the Hoopster, it made one reappearance in an e-reader level for Super Mario Bros. 3, this time being called Groundwork. Funnily enough, they're recolored to a brighter shade of blue, which kinda makes them resemble Sonic the Hedgehog, although I doubt that's intentional. The Flurry, a snowman-like enemy, also had its only reappearance in an e-reader level, being Treacherous Halls. But since these were quite rare enemies in Mario Bros. 2 to begin with, it does make sense they wouldn't be featured a ton since. Next is a Subcon graduate who's currently living its best life, Ninji. While they would make a reappearance quite quickly after Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario World, it took a good while for Ninji to really solidify its place in the Mario franchise. But on the Switch, it has finally grown and earned its spot. Super Mario Maker 2 has a Ninja speedrun mode, which prominently features the little guys as sort of a time trial ghost. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the first game to feature them as enemies in forever, and the Ninja is playable in both Mario Golf Super Rush and Super Mario Party Jamboree. No clue what spurred this sudden rise, but it's been a long time coming. Another enemy from Subcon who did make a reappearance in Mario Maker 2 is the Phanto, the floating mask thing that chases after you collect the key. For this exact function, they were added to Mario Maker with the Super Mario Bros. 2 update, which I guess now makes them one of the few Mario Bros. 2 enemies that does appear in the first Super Mario Bros. In some form. Let's dive back into some truly obscure follow-up appearances with the Trouter, essentially the Subcon version of a Cheep Cheep. As such, they didn't have much reason to appear beyond Mario Bros. 2, their gap in the market was already filled after all, but they did make one very well hidden appearance in the coloring book game Super Mario Bros. And Friends When I Grow Up. In this image we see Frog Mario swim past some enemies, one of which is the Trouter. This will be their final appearance in the game, not counting Ultimate NES Remix, which just features parts of Mario Bros. 2. We go from the seas to the skies for the next few enemies, starting with the Pidgeot. These actually would make a few reappearances, starting in Super Mario World, where putting the unlockable Autumn theme on the game would change Bullet Bills to Pidgeots. They would also appear as enemies in Wario's Woods and Mario & Luigi Partners in Time, but arguably their biggest role is in the Super Smash Bros. Series, as one is a stage hazard in the Mushroom Kingdom 2 stage. This appearance has also allowed it to receive several collectibles from those games, like trophies, stickers and a spirit in the latest Smash Ultimate. Next is the Albatross, which is also a candidate for most obscure reappearance. So, just like some enemies we've had before, Albatross also appears in remakes of Super Mario Bros. 3, but not in e-reader levels. Instead, the King of the Sky is turned into an Albatross, which was just a regular bird in the original game. Super minor appearance, probably the smallest one of the video, but it's at least something. What has to be a little painful though is that the Albatross is pretty closely related to the Bob-omb, as those are what they toss, but their career paths couldn't be more different. I don't think I have to tell you much about the resume of the Bob-omb, right? They're some of the most common enemies in the Super Mario series these days, and one of the only ones from this game who have managed to become a mainstay in even the core Super Mario titles. That was something the Pokies also managed to do, although I would definitely put them a rank below the Bob-omb in terms of recognizability. Nonetheless, their list of appearances is also nothing to scoff at, and has basically every 2D title on it. From one extreme to another, because the next few Mario Bros. 2 enemies never made another appearance, not even in e-reader levels or coloring books. The Ostro is basically just an ostrich ridden by Shy Guys, but probably their biggest claim to fame is that the original manual of the game mentioned Birdo's name as Ostro, meaning that there might just be one poor soul out there who has never played a Mario game beyond the second one and still thinks Birdo's name is Ostro. Panzer is probably the most unfortunate enemy of them all, because these plants are the only one to never appear in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show cartoon. Every other enemy from Subcon managed to pull that off, except for this one. So yeah, shouldn't be a surprise they also haven't appeared in games since, even if their ability to shoot fireballs has been adapted into piranha plants, so their spirit lives on. The award for the craziest career after their graduation from Subcon goes without a doubt to the Spark. These electric balls have never made an appearance in a Mario game since, but did show up in the Yoshi's Island series, in both the first entry and Yoshi's New Island. More interesting though is their venture beyond the Mario world, as these have actually become semi-regular enemies in the Zelda series, appearing as recently as Echoes of Wisdom on the Switch. They've also appeared in A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, the Oracle games and the Minish Cap. Just goes to show you never know where your classmates end up post-graduation. And for the final enemy, we have the perfect segue into the bosses with the Cobrat. These have made one appearance post Mario Bros. 2, in the pretty forgotten title Mario Pinball Land. They only appear in the shifting sand stage and are green instead of red here. A three-headed Cobrat appears as a boss in Mario Bros. 2 known as Tri-Glide, but it immediately shows being a boss doesn't necessarily mean you'll have better chances at reappearances. Because yeah, the Tri-Glide has the exact same resume as the Trouter, with its only follow-up appearance being in the color book game, in an image in some sort of zoo alongside Birdo. She's of course another very successful graduate from the school of Subcon, the only one who has made it onto the actual Mario cast, beyond just being an enemy or a race. Birdo's story is crazy and long enough for its own video, so I instead want to shift our focus to the other, way more forgotten bosses of this game, like the Mouser, which never appeared in a Mario game again, but did have a pretty prominent role as a side character in the Mario Bros. Super Show and has a spirit featured in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Still better than Fry Guy though, who despite the name has no apparent relation to the Shy Guys. This hunk of flames has never been seen again in any game whatsoever, although there is one Samurai guy in Super Paper Mario who might reference it, giving himself the title of Guy Who Fry. Whether this is actually a reference or just a little joke thing is something we cannot be sure of, however. But it is still more than Claw Grip, the giant crab boss, which truly has never been alluded to again, following its defeat in Subcon. Which is kinda odd actually, because Claw Grip was a new addition for Super Mario Bros. 2. In the original Doki Doki, another Mouser is the boss fought in its place. So yeah, this is the only original Mario character in this game, and he still didn't make any reappearance. And finally, we have the big bad himself, Wart. Despite being the main villain of this game, Wart has never reappeared in the Mario series, but he was featured in Link's Awakening of all places, meaning you can enjoy the beautiful face of this creature on the Nintendo Switch if you want. He has been referenced here and there though, like in some Paper Mario games, Mario Maker 2, and there's even an Animal Crossing villager based on him, which is a very random addition to his resume, but it will definitely give him some bragging rights at the Subcon reunion. And that's been all of them. Which one is your favorite? And are there some you hope we'll get to see again? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel to stay updated on all my future Mario content coming up. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.